Welcome to this episode of Hardcat Basics. In this episode, we're going to feature how to create new folders using the Hardcat import function. To create a new folder via an import in Hardcat, we first have to know where in the structure the folder will be created. When importing, we need to know the code associated to this folder, because in Hardcat we import against codes rather than names. If the folder you intend to import is going to be created directly against the root folder, or at the top level of any folder structure, by default the folder code for all these folders is root. The letters are R-O-O-T. If you want to import a new folder under a folder that already exists, you'll have to obtain the code. This is a simple process. You first have to press the Edit Folders button. This will then present us with the folder hierarchy. To find the folder code, simply select the folder you wish to create under and select. There are two ways to see the folder code. The first is via looking in the bottom left corner and note down the code next to the field folder code. The second is to press the Edit button and the code will be displayed in the code field. The benefit of this method is it allows you to copy and paste the code directly into your spreadsheet. The final two pieces of data that you'll need to create a new folder will be description, and you'll have to also create your own code, remembering the code has to be unique. Taking what we've learned from the previous session, we will now create a spreadsheet which contains the information required to create our folders. In this example, I'm going to create two new folders, one called South Australia with the code SA sitting under the root parent folder of location. And subsequent to that, I'm going to create a secondary folder called Adelaide, which will sit under the South Australia folder. To complete this, we need to fill out our Excel spreadsheet. In our Excel spreadsheet, we have three columns of data that we need to populate: code, description, and parent code. The first folder I'm going to create is SA, or South Australia. So the code I'm going to provide for that is SA. Again, this code is unique. My description will be South Australia. And finally, the parent code. So which folder is this going to sit under? Based around what we learned earlier, the folder code will be root, R-O-O-T. The second folder I'm going to create is called Adelaide. The code for Adelaide I'm going to use is A-D-L. The description will be Adelaide, and the parent code will be SA, because I want this folder to sit under the folder South Australia, and its folder code is SA. To import any value into Hardcat, we first of all have to save the file as a CSV file. So we have to go File, Save As, and choose comma delimited as our value. I'm going to call this folder import and press Save. When you save a CSV, by default Excel will give you a couple of different warnings. You can just press OK to both, and yes. With our file now created and saved, we can import the file into Hardcat. Because we're importing a folder structure into Hardcat, this has to be completed using the configuration import-export functionality. If we're importing the actual location itself, it'll be done through the file import-export functionality. So, we have to go to Configuration, Import, Locations. It's because it's locations we're importing. We now need to create an import definition that matches our file. To create a new definition, we first of all have to press the New button. From here, we have to give our definition a name. This allows us in future to use this definition again, or know what this definition is used for. And then we have to select the correct table to import against. Since we're importing folders, we have to import against the Locations Folders table. In our Excel spreadsheet, we had three columns of data. Column A was code, column B was description, and column C was parent code. Therefore, in our export definition, we have to add the fields in that order: code, description, parent code. The fields in this definition on the right hand side, the order top to bottom must equal your Excel spreadsheet in the columns left to right. Because when I created my Excel spreadsheet I had row 1 with column titles on there, I have to tick the column titles tick box. On import, this will then ignore all data in row 1. Once we're finished with our import definition, we can press OK to save. Now, with our folder import definition selected, we can press the import button. We can now navigate to our directory where we saved our file and go and select it. Folder import, and press open to complete the process. Once the process has been completed, a PDF report will be displayed showing you what has occurred with that import. As we can see here, there are 3 line entries. The first one, which was ignored because we ticked the tick box, column titles. Lines 1 and 2 specify that they were created. And finally, a summary at the end to show you what has occurred. If we now go back to Hardcat, we can close out of our definition and click on Locations. And we now have a new folder called South Australia with a subfolder of Adelaide. This process can be repeated through any entity structure within Hardcat, irrespective of its locations, cost centers, people, products, suppliers, or in other areas where folders can be imported in. Thank you for watching this episode of Hardcat Basics. If you have any other questions about anything you've seen in this episode, please don't hesitate to contact Hardcat support.